Our season has come to an end. A lot of roller coasters, a lot of hope, a lot of just sadness, and it's ended. This was a game where we fought hard in that first half. Siakam was keeping us in that second quarter. He was the first quarter was like we're knocking all cylinders. Chris Boucher was big for us. In that second quarter, Siakam was just looking unstoppable. But then the Sixers just continued to hit threes. And Tyrese Maxey, although Joel Embiid dropped 33, Tyrese Maxey is the reason they won this game. It seemed like he couldn't miss in that third quarter. The third quarter is when the lead just blew out of proportion. I kind of wanted to see a timeout earlier, but a timeout couldn't help fix us going 7 for 35 from three. And that was the biggest difference in this game. The Sixers could take breaks on defense because they know that if they bait us to shoot, we're not making any threes. Out of our starting lineup, the best percentage was Gary Trent, who shot 2 for 6 from the three. We just couldn't make any shots. And when you don't make shots as a team, it's hard to beat the Sixers. It seemed like Danny Green was big for them in that third quarter, in that second quarter, and that third quarter as well. He had like a step back three, and then Tyrese Maxey was hitting pull up threes, bro. Like when that's happening, how are you supposed to stop that? James Harden had a decent game. George Niang, he gave them every time that guy scores, it's like a dart to our souls. It is. And of course, Joel Embiid will be Joel Embiid. This win isn't on him. It's on Tyrese Maxey. It was the others. The others came to play today. Tobias Harris was also big for them. Get going in and out. He was making mid ranges. He was making his threes. Seemed like every one of them, everyone played good on that team. Literally everyone played good when they got minutes. They played good. And Paul Reed and garbage time was looking at. It's like it was just a bad game. Just a bad game. Unfortunate. And our starters played decent. The Sixers, what they did in the second half, they just double teamed Siakam because they saw how they torched him. And when you double team Siakam, it's like J- OG Anunoby with 5 points. Ken Burch giving us nothing. Like Ken Burch was the most disappointing part of this series, honestly, because Precious Chua came in. No, Chris Boucher came and gave them better minutes. Precious Chua had an off game. He really had an off game, honestly. And Ken Burch, it just feels like when he's on the court, no presence. That's why he doesn't play the whole game because he doesn't give us anything. He's too passive. He's just, I don't know, just doesn't have a place on this roster. And the difference between us and them is our shooting. And as good as much as I like this 6-6 plus lineup, we just don't have good enough shooting. We can crash the boards, yes, for sure, but we don't have enough shooting. And when you don't have enough shooting, and the other team is just not missing, it's hard to win a game like that. Overall, we had a great season. This is a great experience to have Scotty Barnes, who played good today. He couldn't make his threes, but he played good today. It's a great season to just get our feet wet. The Sixers were the better team. You could tell that they had a lot of veterans that came to play. James Harden, as unaggressive as he was a great point guard for them. Tobias Harris came to play this series as well. And Danny Green finally looked like a veteran. Like the past, like, I guess, before this season, the past like 2 3 years, he's just been looking like a shell of himself. But this postseason, he had some big games for them. Yeah, it just showed the experience and the skill level wasn't up to par. Like Siakam has been horrendous from three. That's fine because he's been attacking the paint, but he hasn't shot well from three. We shot better from the free throw line at least this game. Most of it has to do with Chris Boucher, honestly. But we shot better, so we improved on that aspect. But we couldn't hit any threes, like literally any threes. And they were giving us open threes because they knew we couldn't shoot, and we allowed them take breaks on offense, and they just came running down Tyrese Maxey, especially man. That guy, he showed his value there. It was great that they didn't trade him. Without Tyrese Maxey, they probably wouldn't have won this series. We had a great season, all in all. Good season by Gary Trent. Like we can build from this season though. That's the thing. Well, most of the season we didn't have OG Ananobi, so next year we'll have him. Siakam took strides in his offensive game. He really did. His 3 point shot is worse. The past 2 years has been bad, but everything else, his mid range is getting better. His post game is getting better. So of course, there's more to build on that. Scotty Barnes, he's a rookie of the year. I don't know if his three is going to get better than it was this season. It was okay, but for sure he's going to have a tighter handle. He's going to make less stupid plays. So there's still things to build for Van Vliet. Hopefully, 60-70% of his shots are coming from three. Hopefully, he gets a floater game because that's what I've been asking from him his whole career, honestly. Because in this game, even though he's been battling injuries for sure, and that's going to affect the way you drive in, having a floater game doesn't really impede your hip or anything like that. And I mean, frankly, this is just a bad season, bad series for him. The season, he's an all star. This was a step up. The second half of the season, his three was he just didn't play good second half of the season. But next year we can build on that too. Pressure Chua, we saw the development of Pressure Chua from the first game to now. More confident, making less. He's still making dumb plays, but he's making less of them. Started to attack the rim better, make his layups. That was a problem in the first like 30 games. He wasn't making any layups. Chris Boucher also started the season off horrible, but he picked it up later on in the season and showed why he's our bench. He's the number one bench player for a reason. 25-10. Can you believe that? And we still got slapped by more than 30 points. Thaddeus Young, he provided us good veteran minutes. I want to keep him, honestly. I want to keep him. Well, of course, we know the flaw of our team. We need more guard play. As much as good as Siakam is, I don't want him. He's not someone I want when we're 0 for 10 for the last, like we're in the last possessions. We just haven't gotten a good shot. I want some guard, like a friendly could be that guard, or like someone on the bench. We need a veteran guard, I think. Someone that we can sign for like 3 years, decent guard, someone that can play make, but that's also good defensively. Not like a DeLon Wright, because even though he's a veteran, he doesn't have a veteran type play. Like I'm looking for someone like a taller DJ Augustine, like a 6'3" DJ Augustine. I don't know. I'm looking for a bench guard that can handle the bench lineup, because part of the reason why we won the championship was in the bench mob. We had Fred coming off the bench. We had Norman Powell coming off the bench. We had these players coming off the bench that could provide good minutes. We don't have that anymore. We had some flashes from Banton and Malachi Flynn this season. We had Steven Luke started off the season well, the first like 20 games, and after he just couldn't buy a bucket, honestly. It was just so disappointing. But kudos to the 76ers, man. There was talks about Doc, blowing a 3-0 lead, but they closed out and that's what they were supposed to do. The better team won the series. I think in order to get to the next round, I think everyone has to play the same way they played against the Raptors. Everyone played well this series. Yang gave them great minutes. Paul Reed, I don't know, he didn't play as often. But T. Steibel was that guy needs to find a way to contribute to the team because apart from him, James Harden, great point guard play by him. Kudos to him. Tyrese Maxey, that guy, he's just on a different level, honestly. Joel Embiid, he can continue doing his thing, drawing fouls, imposing as well. Tobias Harris, he has to be consistent as well, and they could go far. I can see them beating Miami Heat. I really do. Just we had a good season. Honestly, we overachieved. The naysayers and the reporters and all these people didn't think we made the playoffs, made the fifth seed, went to 6 games against the Sixers. We could have pushed it to 7 in that game 3. That was a miraculous shot, but what can you do? If you like the video, subscribe. Raptors Hub, I guess, and peace.